Welcome to Suite 303. I'm your host, Jay Stoy, and we are really excited today as we have the CEO of Comweb Corporation, Paul Bronfman, on the show today. Paul, thank you for being on the show.
You are a good interviewer. Thank you too, Jay.
This is very exciting. We are so honored to be here. We're down here on Islington in downtown Toronto at White International. Paul, can you tell us a little bit about the makeup here, and then we can just get right into your fascinating and excellent career.
Well, we've got a group of people here that provide production equipment and services. Anything you see in a film set is what we do. You get cameras, lights, remote heads, cranes, power generators, even those little orange cones you see on the side of the street. Most of those are ours too.
And I know the business, you've been in the business since the early 70s. I know we're gonna get into a little bit of music, but before we get into the music, tell us about your day-to-day operation here, and I guess what type of clients do you serve here, Paul?
Well, we service, both, there's really three levels. There's executive producers, and crew. So our ultimate client is really the people that are putting it on the air. So, for example, we're doing Netflix shows. We're doing Amazon shows, we're doing CBS, we're doing Disney, we're doing Warner Brothers. We also do Canadian companies like E1 or Boat Rocker, folks that do Orphan Black and Don Carmody. So
wow,
the Canadian business is under pressure these days.
Mr. Carmody, I know Don and everyone way back. So tell us a little bit how the online platform has expanded.
Well, it's changed the business, Jay. What used to be, not long ago, a very seasonal business. In other words, you'd work for a number of months, and the rest of the year would be, hit and miss. Now it's really become a 12-month-a-year business, and it's really because of the over-the-top services. Amazon Prime, Netflix. You've got Disney coming online. Next year with Disney Plus. You've got, who else? CBS coming online. You got CBS All Access. So they're all joining the over-the-top game, and they're willing to just, chew up content. They need shows for their broadcasts.
Which touches on a little bit of international. I know, tell our viewers, I know obviously you're so big in Toronto, but I know you're right across Canada. So can you touch on a little bit what the international part means?
Well, our international part really is our office in Budapest. But we certainly have, international clients, but primarily Americans and Canadians, because the other countries incentivize their own producers to stay home as well. So we're not going to have, there are treaties with Europe, there are treaties with other countries, but all those countries incentivize their producers to spend their money in the home country.
And if I understand correctly, I believe that you guys are also opening a new office out in Peel. Is that true?
Well, no, what we just found finally, after probably a year and a half of looking, our first White Studios location in Mississauga.
Okay.
It's on Edwards Boulevard. It'll be open by January of next year. We're not sure who's going to be in there. We've got 4 stages, but it's a retrofit situation. It's not like my involvement with Pinewood Toronto that are purpose-built studios from the ground up. These we take warehouses.
Okay.
And we basically retrofit them into stage studios.
Wow.
Film studios.
So tell us a little bit about Pinewood Studios.
Well, Pinewood. Boy, Pinewood's been a long journey. Got involved in 07, June of 07. Then it was Filmport.
Okay.
And by the time we opened in August of 08 was our official opening. The dollar was, it was the 08 financial crisis. And the dollar was high. And we were basically running out of money.
Oh.
So my original partner, Sam Reisman, had to exit the business.
Okay.
And I'm the only sole surviving shareholder for the original group. And Sam's shares were rolled into a group led by Return on Innovation, which is a labor-sponsored fund. Alfredo Romano from Castle Point and the City of Toronto.
Oh, great, okay.
So they bought Sam out, and We've been partners for 10 years.
And how have you found the industry, say, over the last couple of years, Paul?
Well, it's changed because, as I said, the over-the-top companies like Netflix and Amazon, they're willing to commit to multi-year deals
Okay.
for studios, etc. And previous to those folks was all per show basis.
I see.
If you had an episodic series, you rent your studio for 8 months and then leave. Now what's happened is the Netflix of the world are renting out studio space all over the world, but primarily in 5 different locations, 2 of which are in Canada, and not knowing what's going to be in those stages.
Wonderful.
But they know there's a pipeline of shows coming up.
We're here with Paul Bronfman. He's the CEO of Cobweb Corporation. Tell us all about his fascinating career along with his many platforms. Now, Paul, I know off camera we were talking a little bit about your love for music.
Yes.
And we see on the back wall here we have Supertramp and April Wine. And I know you said from music you went to film, but let's talk about your love for music.
Well, it started at a young age. I don't know. I went to my first concert when I was 10 years old, 1967.
Who'd you see?
The Loving Spoonful in Expo Theater. I went with my mother. Do You Believe in Magic and A Young Girl's Heart?
Wow.
And I still listen to the
That's
Loving
great.
Spoonful. And I just fell in, and I still remember buying Sgt. Pepper in 1967.
What an
I
album.
guess at 10 years old, I was really into rock and roll, and it just grew from there.
Really?
And so I played guitar, played with some high school bands and stuff, and realized that I really wasn't a very good guitar player. I could sing okay,
Okay.
but then I thought, well, maybe I'll try and make a career in music some other way other than playing. So I ended up being a roadie for April Wine.
Beautiful.
I got the 10th crew job on because some other guy had quit a few days earlier. So I got lucky to get the job, and I guess I did a good enough job to get promoted.
Such an iconic band, Canadian band.
They were quite a group. Nice fellas. I still speak with Miles.
Oh, yeah?
He lives in Hudson.
Very nice.
Lovely guy. And then I got promoted to be an assistant production manager.
Wow.
With Supertramp the following year.
Tell us about that.
Well, that tour was pretty unique because it was just before they were popular in the United States. But everywhere we would go, people would literally be banging down the walls to get in.
Was Crime of the Century already out?
It was out. That tour was Even on the Quietest Moments tour.
Oh, okay.
And I remember in Moncton, for example, one night, literally people were banging on the doors to get on the show. They were a huge hit in Canada. We did 2 nights in Maple Leaf Gardens, 2 nights in the Montreal Forum, and I traveled with them from Thunder Bay to Halifax.
Wow, that was great.
So, yeah,
what a memory.
It was hard work, life on the road is not what it seems to be.
So when you were a roadie, did you play at all places like the Nob Hill and Gasworks and all types of places like that, or no?
They were bigger venues.
Bigger
April
venues.
Wine played 76. It was 2 nights in Massey Hall.
Oh, 2 nights Massey Hall.
And Supertramp was the bigger buildings.
And are you still obviously a lover today of music?
I am.
Who do you like today?
Anybody that's not on top 40 radio today.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that.
Are you a Sinatra fan?
I have not bought his albums, but I'm in a time warp, Jay.
Yeah.
I still listen to Led Zeppelin,
So do I.
AC/DC, Pink Floyd, Tom Petty, etc., etc.
Actually, speaking of that, we have a wonderful fundraiser coming up for Chris Partland and the Partland Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully we're going to have Ronnie Hawkins is going to be there as a special
He's
guest.
still motoring that.
Yeah,
guy. The guy is
yeah.
ageless.
Yeah, so let's hopefully, yeah, he's getting up there in age, so
Yeah,
hopefully he's
he
going to
is.
be there. So tell us how you transition. We won't keep much more of your
That's
time.
okay, it's okay.
How did you transition from the music industry into the film and television?
Just as a fluke, Jay.
Yeah?
I was working for Donald K. Donald, the concert promoter in Montreal, and I really didn't want to go on the road anymore. I know that sounds, why wouldn't you want to go on the road? It's no way to live. I mean, at 18, 19, 20, it was
It's fun. Yeah.
So, Quebec had just voted for the Parti Québécois.
Okay.
And I remember I got a job because I wanted to work for a record company. So I got a job with London Records in Quebec, and then they called me up and said, sorry, we can't proceed because all our job hirings are on hold. They're frozen in Quebec. I said, that's it for me, I gotta get out. So I got offered a job by my previous employer, Astral, Harold Greenberg, to work at a post-production company in Toronto. So I thought, film post-production, music, it's probably closest. It wasn't at all.
No, not at all.
And so I got lucky because 20 years old, I was able to move out of Montreal, which I always wanted. I love Montreal as a tourist. I had to get out of the,
To live.
what they call the shtetl there.
Yeah, yeah.
Shtetl, those of your Jewish audience, you know, a little village. I had to get out of the little village to go to a bigger village. So I was very fortunate to end up at a place where the industry was really centered. It was before the big explosion of tax credits. And I met a lot of wonderful people in those days.
That's wonderful.
And I got mentored by them, and I had a couple of really good bosses.
And I'm sure you passed it along.
Well, you
Your
know, you
mentorship,
try,
yeah.
you know,
Yep.
but I wouldn't be where I am today without good mentors, people that believe in you, that look maybe beyond your experience. And you have to be thrown to the wolves sometimes.
There you go. That's so
Harold
true.
Greenberg used to do that to me. He used to put me in situations where I thought,
Sink or swim.
what am I going to do here? I'm way out of my depth. And you find a way to do it, you know, so. But I wouldn't be here today in my company without all the good people around me.
Touching on that, Paul, I want to thank you, first of all, for your time today.
No, it's my pleasure.
And I want to tell our viewers that Paul Bronfman and his corporation have been, they have had our support from day one, and we truly thank you for
You guys
that,
did
Paul.
great work.
Truly thank you for that. And before we let you go, is there something you'd like to tell about the camera? Because I know we're all part of the same community, right? Any type of inspiring words for people out there maybe watching or listening?
Well, look, I mean, you know, you try not to let the bad deck of cards get you down. So if you have a physical disability or you have a mental disability, in my case, I was diagnosed with MS nearly 25 years ago. So I'm in a wheelchair now, and there was a time where I thought, God, if I ever end up in a wheelchair, I want to be dead.
There you go.
And now I'm in a wheelchair 24 and a half years later. I got 3 grandchildren, I got 3 great kids. The thought of being dead is ridiculous to me.
I love hearing that,
But
Paul.
I really thought that. So you just learn to adjust. And I'm lucky I can still do my job. I don't have cognitive MS. And you know, many people with MS have memory
Little rough,
problems.
yeah.
It's rough. So
Yeah.
my problem's the spinal cord, it's not the brain.
Well, Paul, I really thank your time. Inspiring words from an inspiring man.
Oh,
Again,
thank you, Jay.
we're
Thank
here
you.
at White International.
You're inspiring yourself. The work you do,
Oh, thank you,
you
Paul.
guys do is fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thanks for watching Suite
Thank you,
303.
Jay.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Jay.